So, for everyone who's not listened to the podcast before, generally we roll this right into the games that we're watching, playing, movies, but we're going to replace that segment this week with Destiny 2, oh my god, it's amazing. Andy, why aren't you playing it? And that is our opening segment.
Sell me, I guess.
I'll let Justin start.
Ramen?
Oh my gosh.
Spicy ramen.
I wish we had I wish this was a video podcast so we could show how amazing that is.
No, I mean, it's similar to the first one. Sadly, last podcast, if you guys listened,
we kind of crapped all over it.
I said I wasn't going to get it unless it was on sale. I talked myself back and forth and got it. You ass. I mean, it's a good game. I actually really do enjoy the series. The first one I really liked. There was a few things that I got annoyed with. Content not coming out quick enough. Stuff like that. I guess we'll see how they do on this one with that. The gameplay feels similar, but it's just smoother.
Well, and to be fair, that wasn't the piece that was broken from the original Destiny. I think the original Destiny played great.
Yeah.
But, like, the shell around it was a mess.
And the story that actually is in the game is pretty good. I like the reference points back to the first game as well. It kind of completes it a little bit, so you kind of get an idea from the first game a little bit too then. But overall, I really like the story mode and this game in general. It's pretty good.
Yeah. They, I think they delivered with Destiny 2 on what Destiny was supposed to be. It looks and plays amazing. They've eliminated a ton of the monotonous going to orbit, coming back. There's fast travel now. The maps are expansive and interesting, and they're full of life. The story exists, and I think it's pretty damn good. I mean, to be honest, it's as engaging as any campaign was in a good Halo game. Like in those first Halo games, it really captures that. Bungie nailed it this time around. And I can say, like, even if you're not going to be the type of player who's going to get into Destiny for the MMO aspect and keep grinding and keep doing raids, it is worth the $60 purchase just for the 10 to 15 hours you'll spend going through the main campaign, and, you know, the side missions. I mean, and I've gotten my money's worth out of this game. If I put it down and never get an expansion, I'm super happy that I bought it.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to hear out of it, was that if you can play it single player and have, you know, enjoyable time and get your money's worth out of it, I'll sign me up, I guess. Yeah,
no, it's great. I played through the entire campaign by myself, actually, because I couldn't convince anyone else to buy it. And immediately after saying I wasn't going to... Well, I did admit I'd probably buy it, but I didn't think I would buy it that quick. Like, as soon as we got done crapping on it, recording the last podcast, I went out and bought it. And then I probably put 50 hours, I'd say, into Destiny 2 at this point, and I'm still enjoying it. Plays great.
Wow. How many Pop-Tarts have you bought?
I had a box in my hand, and I was like, no, I draw the line at Pop-Tarts. But yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I really thought it was just going to be another, you know, cog in the Activision money grab machine, but they built a really good game.
Yeah, that must be probably what Destiny should have been the first time, huh? Or what they kind of wanted it to be.
I feel like that's what it should have been, yeah. The way that they marketed it. And like this one, again, I don't remember hardly any advertising. I've seen more advertisements now that it's out than I did before it was released. And with the first one, like that's all it was advertisements everywhere. And then the game just felt like a letdown because there wasn't anything to it, really. This one with the story, too, like as you're going through, just the different characters, I find
so much
quite
humor.
Hilarious. Like, yeah. Just the stupid shit that's said.
Yeah, like there's this failsafe that's a AI from a crashed ship that is like on the fritz, kind of like Cortana, except just super hilarious. And it's got split personalities, the normal kind of like weird, dry robot AI sort of sense of humor, and then the alternate version of it is this like super cynical and dark character. I don't know, it's just great.
Huh. Sounds better than Wizard from the Moon.
Mm-hmm. And there's no moon, which is also a great part about Destiny 2. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the best way to compare a really good analogy for Destiny 2 compared to Destiny is if you're a classic horror movie indie film fan, this is like Evil Dead 2 compared to Evil Dead. It's the same rough story. It's just done better on every level, and it has a better production value to it.
More humor.
Yeah, it's the difference between being shot on like a handheld Super 8 and an actual movie budget.
Sure.
It's good stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah, I might have to grab that then.
Yeah. Well, there's no huge grind. Like, honestly, if you bought it and put 20 hours into it, you'd be at the max level cap, and with another 15 to 20, you'd be close enough to do a raid. So you're not going to have to spend weeks to get, to the level you need to progress past the main campaign, which is great.
Huh. Sure. So what is the end game on that then? If you can successfully do the raid often enough, what's after that?
I suppose expansions at that point. I mean, there's your weekly stuff and there's patrols, but right now that's the thing, is like the ultimate end game. There's not a ton currently.
Sure. So do you think they're going to have a content problem again?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how quickly they can turn out additional raids and more story elements. I think they'd be smart to wait to get through the holiday season and maybe like February, March, and then hopefully they get some more people into it and realizing that this isn't the game that they get turned off by. And then once that first expansion comes out, you're going to see a ton of people jumping back in and really trying to level up characters.
Sure.
Well, they had a pretty huge selling, though, for Destiny 2.
Yeah, no, they had
I don't remember
1.3 million people online consecutively. So, I mean, that's a ton of people.
That's a huge selling point where they're going to have to do something before the holiday season here.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they will have to, otherwise...
People might get bored. Yeah, but they'll probably come back if they enjoyed it enough.
Yeah, it's one of those games, like, it's not probably for everybody, but I'm really enjoying it.
I would say, though, if you like first-person shooters and you like a good, solid campaign with some sci-fi elements, like, that could still be your game, and you could leave everything else. I mean, you could put all the MMO stuff to the side and still get into it, play through the story, and it's on its own. That's fine.
Well, once you, I guess, figure out the raid, too, it's probably pretty easy because it's a lot of puzzle, which seems pretty interesting. So once we get there and actually have enough people to do that.
Yeah, well, it'll be nice that Andy's going to jump in. I mean, that's one.
Yep. So they have a lot of platforming in this one, too?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just as much platforming as it is shooting. And the sparrows you don't get right off the bat, and you really don't miss it because they've done such a good job of making the world interesting and making the travel fun that it's kind of okay. I mean, it doesn't really hinder the game at all. You get your sparrow, unless you get a random drop, that could happen. You get your sparrow at level 20 after you've beaten... Well, at that point, you should have beaten the campaign. I guess there's no guarantee you did. You might have just gotten distracted with other stuff. But yeah, it's just amazing how much better and more engaging it is. I mean, it feels like an actual game instead of a failed project, I guess. I never thought Destiny on the first game. I mean, it felt good playing, but it just didn't make any sense as a game. Like, there's no continuity to that world or a story at all.
Just loading, like how long it took to go back to orbit and then go to...
Yeah, you had to wait on your ship there for a while, and that was...
You still have your ship and stuff, but the wait just seems like it's much better because of the fast travel, and I don't know, I just feel like if you actually do go to orbit, it is quicker. But I suppose, Destiny 1 was made for last gen too, so...
Also...
That's probably kind of hindered it a little bit there.